All right, so first and foremost, I'm going to start off by saying Barakathon, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah. And I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shout out to the whole few left, the 144,000, Shalom. All right, so Lord willing, I want to go into a lesson real fast. Might be a fairly quick one, just, how it is and whatnot. But Lord, we flow through the spirit, right? But I just want to go into a lesson, watching El Apostle Ramla lesson he did, it's just a few hours ago. Well, it says 13 hours ago, right? And it's titled "You Can't Stop Prophecy." And within the first 10 minutes, it hit me in the spirit, meditating in the spirit, hoping that the spirit bring me a lesson, as I watching the elders or whatnot. Hit me in the spirit, how he's going into right. You can't stop prophecy, and he showed how a lady, it was a lady, I can't think of her name or whatnot, but she's basically saying like, it's getting to the point where it's going to be a digital, like it's going to be everything going to become digital. You can have like a digital wallet, digital this and that or whatnot, and these are things that the elders been saying for so long, right? Because once if you understand it, Esau blessed with those miracles. One of his miracles, it's like excuse me for that, but one of his miracles is the technology. And within that, Esau's been blessed with Esau's been blessed with the fact of, to create these things, do these things, but understanding that, one of the things he's going to try to come out with is the MOTB chip. And now, there's a lot of countries who've been doing it lately, but now they're trying to push it. I'm going to play a little bit of the video. I'm playing it on my TV, so I don't know if you can necessarily hear, but I'm going to play the beginning of it just to really hear what the lady was saying about the chip real fast.
They've already implemented it because of the KYC functionality built into this digital financial system. They have the know your customer protocols. They have to know who you are, and so they want to have your wallet tied to a digital ID and have that digital ID be mapped to your physical ID through the biometric data collection. So there's different efforts to make digital IDs either as NFTs, non-fungible tokens. There's also the efforts of Sam Altman of OpenAI and his WorldCoin project, whereby you scan your iris, you give them the biometric credentials of your eyeball, they give you a unique identifier, a digital ID, and it's inherently tied to a digital wallet. That is the same model the UN is using. They've already implemented it for refugees getting food assistance from the World Food Program. It's called Building Blocks. It's on the blockchain. It involves refugees scanning their irises. In order to buy food or receive their rations, they have to check out of a grocery store style place in the refugee camp, and they check out biometrically with an eyeball scan, and then the amount of food they have, the monetary value of that is subtracted from their digital wallet connected to their digital ID.
Excuse me. All right, so I don't know if you can hear it that much, but the Elder Pastor Ramla, he has a lesson up. He's paid GMS Info Channel 12. And the lesson is titled "You Can't Stop Prophecy." But the point in that video, she's basically talking about how, like, they trying to basically like link your wallet and your ID and whatnot with a digital ID. And she's talking about the refugees. They have it already, and they can't buy us. They gotta use it to get food when they go to the grocery store, things as such, right? And we know that's gonna do what? Eventually lead to the MOTB chip. We know that, we're not ignorant of Satan devices. We know that Esau tries to tap in his ways to be creative to smooth in the MOTB chip, but that's leading to that MOTB chip, right? So with the point of the lesson, the title of the lesson is, give them warning, because this is the things that, the elders, the prophets, the sincere men, how about have been prophesying, right? And that's what we were sitting here to do, to stir up, right? To prophesy the downfall of this kingdom, to get warning to Jake, to bring him back to who he is so he don't get caught up in the way of this world. But Jake seems to, well, we know those 2/3 won't never receive it. The 2/3 won't get it. 2/3 won't get it. And Jake, ultimately, Yahushua blocking them from receiving it. But, hey, the prophets was here. There's no excuse. Yahweh said that, if I had not claimed, if I had not, let's go to that. John 15. Right, this is John 15:22. Right, it says, if I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not sinned. Right, but now they have no cloak for their sin because Yahweh came and showed us. Right, so now there's no excuse. Clothes goes into excuse. Now there's no excuse for your sin. Right, because Yahweh left that comforter here for us. That's why he said, if you love me, you do works that I do, even greater works. Because right now the prophets are the mouth of the Lord. Right? Now the prophets are the mouth of the Lord, and they have prophesied and given warning to the nation of Israel. And these are things they've been preparing. These things they've been telling you to prepare for since since our past life. Because the spirit of the prophet is suggested to the prophet. And Daniel 12:13 tells the prophet never left their lot. They still here today. Right over here in the Americas, prophesying, telling you, hey, get out the way of this world. Depart from the way of this world. This way of the world will lead you to destruction. Michael 2:10. You're going to be destroyed. Right, the elder brought out Jeremiah 28:28. Going into how the prophets. And we read that real fast. Jeremiah 28 and verse 28. Right, it says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and you pestilence. And right, the prophet's been telling you this place is done. This place is over with. And like Elder Pastor Ron I was talking about, if you really can see that this is the end of Esau Empire. They trying their best, they scrambling anything together to make sure this kingdom don't go downhill, but the righteous see their fall, right? We seen this place go downhill, right? So let's go to this Ezekiel 3 and Ezekiel 3 in verse 17, because in this chapter when he telling them tell people to eat the whole roll, he also talks about how people who should understand what you're saying, but they're not gonna listen, they don't get it, right? So this is Ezekiel 3 in verse 17, right? It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman to the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word in my mouth and give them warning from me. And that's what the prophet's doing. When the prophets are prophesying the downfall of this kingdom and telling you to depart from the way of the world, telling you, return back to Yahweh Shem Yahshua is going to be destroyed. That's the warning, man. Telling you who you are as a people, telling you to return back, telling you got away this world. Do not fall for the gimmicks of gain. Do not take that chip. That's the warning. That warning is ultimately coming from Yahweh Shem Yahshua. That's why he said, right? Son of man, I have made thee a watchman to the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. Because the mouth of the Lord right now is the prophets. Right? The spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahshua comes to the prophets and they prophesy and they teach and they give a warning to the people, the watchmen. There's also that, the sincere brothers, sincere Akim and the truth, right? You have that 144,000 out here prophesying and teaching, and helping gathering that elect, but also giving warning to the people, letting them know that, hey, if you don't get with this word, if you don't give out what Esau, they're gonna get you. Because the spiritual wickedness in high places. What they trying to do is grab you and control your mind. They trying to control you. Know where you at all the time. Do all these things. They trying to be in control. They want to be like God. They want to be like Yahweh Shem Yahshua, man. Right? The scriptures tell you that. Right? So therefore we sit here to give warning to you, to tell you, hey, get right. But this warning been going out. Eventually gonna come to a point, when with the pig, and I forgot how the story went, but it's like excuse for that. But I forgot how the story went, with the pig who cried wolf. Eventually when he started calling for them, he did too much playing around. They ain't come for him, right? So therefore, you gotta be on point, man. You gotta be on point. You gotta pay attention to what the prophet's saying, right? It says, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest them not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity. His blood will quiet on thy hand. That's blood in your hand, right? Because that's all we're sitting here to do, stir up. Matthew 25. We want to sit here to play around with this truth. We sit here to stir up. We sit here to, and we got one time we sit here to bring back 2 times. We got 2 times we sit here to bring back 4 times. We got 4 we sit here to bring back 8. We sit here to double our talent, man, to do the will of the word for Yahweh Shem Yahshua. We said, yeah, if thou warn the wicked, he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, that thou deliver thy soul. That's what we're doing. We're giving warning to the nation of Israel, telling them, hey, get right. It's like Ezekiel 12, when the Most High was using Ezekiel as a sign for for Israel. But Israel didn't listen, so what happened? The Babylonians ended up coming over and taking over them, right? You know, right now we're in Esau Kingdom. So if you don't listen to the prophets, you don't listen to the watchman, you know, you don't take heed to that warning, and you're going to be destroyed, right? You're going to be destroyed, you know. And you know, you want to listen to the prophets, man, right? These are prophets that are ordained to the nation. Jeremiah 1:5, these are prophets over all nations, right? You know, they're prophets of Yahweh Hashem, outside the prophets of Israel, but you got to understand they're prophets to all nations because they prophesy down for all. They're telling prophets to all nations, like, hey, you're going to go into captivity. Hey, you know, you're a Hebrew Israelite. You're a chosen one. You're a chosen child of Yahweh Hashem, child, you know? But everybody knows, you know, people don't want to listen. They don't want to take heed to it. They don't want to listen to the prophet. They never listen to the prophet. They despise the prophet. They was killing the prophets and things such back then. You know? So, that's really what I want to touch on real fast. I was thinking just now some precepts, you know, just going to see, you know, why you want to listen to the prophets, because those are, you know, the mouth of the Lord, man. Prophets are the mouth of the Lord, right? You know, the prophets are the ones who, you know, are prophesying and let you know that, you know, the things to come. Future prophecy, prophecy that passed. These are things that are going to help you stay stable and be firm in these times, man. You know, so you don't have second guessing, you know, and you know, not being on your watchtower, right? So, Lord willing, right, let's edify and exalt him, right? And I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, and Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shout out to the hopefully last, start with the 144,000. Shalom.